Hey guys, it's Alex here from your Wolfdog Sanctuary. Today we just wanted to take some time to not only address some of the comments and questions that were left on the Dodo video that we recently had posted, but as well just thank some of our followers, welcome some of our new followers that we've gained from being on the Dodo. So thank you to everyone for all your support, both new and old. We really appreciate it. So today we are hanging out with TK, this crazy boy here in front of me. Then we've got Miss Ruby, and then behind me the black one here is Enzo. So these guys are our youngest that we have at the moment. They're still puppies, they're not quite a year, so they're quite rambunctious and like to have lots of fun and love their treats and all that good stuff. Okay, you guys? So some of the comments that were posted on the Dodo video, a lot of them had to do with people either wanting to own wolf dogs, and of course that kind of defeats the whole point of, what are you guys doing? Defeats the whole point of kind of the video. So the video, what we're trying to portray is that wolf dogs don't make the best pets in the world. One of the kind of things that a lot of people were confused about is that with wolf dogs, technically they shouldn't exist. Now this was the caption of the video. And there was some confusion with this because a lot of people saying that, you know, wolf dogs, they do very much exist and they should very much get all the love that they need. And that's definitely something that we are encouraging, but at the same time, the breeders that produce these animals, the big issue is that they are, one, misrepresenting animals. No. And with that misrepresentation, a lot of people think they have wolf dogs when they don't. So what we end up seeing is people saying, a lot of the comments ended up saying, you know, we've got a 95.67% wolf and they do great in the house. And they have been my very loyal pet. A lot of those times, those animals are not actually wolf dogs, or they have a very small amount of wolf content, which is going to make them act a lot more like a dog than it is going to make them act like a wolf. So that's one of the really big issues that we see. We find about 9 out of 10 wolf dogs are probably misrepresented. That either means that they have way less wolf content than what's in them, or it might mean that they have no wolf content whatsoever. And one of the issues with this is that a lot of these dogs end up in rescue, and the second that they're claimed to have any wolf content whatsoever, guys, the second that they're claimed to have any wolf content whatsoever, it's going to be a matter of they could very well be euthanized for just solely having that wolf content. So one of the big things we like to do is to teach people how to really figure out if they do have wolf content. Percentages also is another big thing. That's usually a really big red flag for us. As far as percentages go, nothing in the hands. These are my hands, thank you. As far as percentages go, they're usually a red flag in the sense that people are kind of just making them up to make it seem cooler. So the breeders that are producing these animals, they're going to tell you it's a 95.67% wolf because that sounds a heck of a lot cooler than a low content wolf dog. So what we end up seeing is that people don't really know what wolves look like anymore. Our blonde guy in front of us here, this is TK, and TK is a high content wolf dog. So with TK, he is still a puppy, so he's not fully matured and everything, but hopefully you guys can already tell he does look quite a bit different from even the other two we have in here. So with TK, he's a high content. Mr. Enzo here, he's an upper mid, and then Ruby is a solid mid. So Ruby has the most dog in her. She definitely looks the most doggy if we're really looking at them side by side. So some of the physical traits we're going to look for, nice flat skull. So if we look at Mr. TK here, nice flat skull. We don't have that prominent dip in the skull like we see on a lot of dog breeds. Skull shape is also quite a bit larger. Paws is another big one. Can we see your paw? Yeah, that one. So the paws, we've got really long knuckly toes. They walk on their toes rather than the full pad of their paw. So that's going to be much more beneficial for wolves. With dogs, we typically see they're on that full pad of their paw. Excuse you? I know you're a very loving boy. TK is also a really good example that some high content wolf dogs can be very affectionate. But TK still isn't going to make a good pet for someone because other things like territorial behavior, he's going to eventually start to get that once he gets older. Resource guarding is a really big one for him. I can't go and take a treat away from him or take his meat away from him because in his brain, that's his livelihood. Hey, you can't guard me, crazy boy. So as far as why wolf dogs shouldn't exist, the big thing is that people are intentionally breeding them. So technically they shouldn't exist because people are intentionally doing it. So as for reasons why it doesn't typically happen out in the wild, I'm not going to say it's fully impossible because it can happen. It's just very, very unlikely. So with wolves, when they're really territorial, likely they're going to kill your dog rather than mate with it. And that's because in their brains, they're seeing your dog as a big threat to their pack. They're also monogamous animals. It's typically the two alphas of a pack that are going to be the breeding pair, and they are going to be breeding for a lifetime. They're quite strict about their monogamous behavior, so that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. They don't really make any exceptions like some other species may do. And then on top of that, we also have different breeding cycles. So breeding cycles when it comes to a wolf, a male wolf is only fertile for about a month out of the entire year, and females only have one heat cycle. So the male and the female, the two alphas, they're going to sync up in those cycles, and they're going to usually come into their fertility in the kind of winter range, so December, January, February, somewhere in there, and it means that the puppies are always going to be born late April to early May. It's the only time it's physically possible. Okay guys, so thank you very much for joining us. We do want to be doing maybe a few more of these kind of videos. We definitely want to educate everyone about wolf dogs and really get the message out there. So if anyone does have any specific topics that they really want us to talk about, please ensure that you do comment or contact us, and we would be happy to do more of these videos and answer everyone's questions about wolf dogs and wolves. But thank you again for following us. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for viewing.